Hey everyone, it's Evangeline right here at Etrailer. Today we have the Rhino Rack Roof Rack and we're going to take a look at how it fits, and I'll also show you how to get installed on your 2024 Toyota RAV4. If you need to get some fun roof rack accessories mounted to your vehicle, in fact this vehicle is getting a rooftop tent mounted to the top of it, what you first need is a roof rack. So this is going to be a 3-part kit. We have the 49-inch long Vortex bars. These are going to be aerodynamic and very versatile for different accessories. You also have the RCH legs, which are going to give you a little bit of height so that you can clamp things around it. And finally, we have the custom fit kit for your Toyota RAV4. It's very important to use our fit guide here at Etrailer because we have all of this kitted together as one thing, and that's going to be something that is custom but also a confirmed fit for your vehicle. For the RAV4, there's a bunch of roof rack options, and the main thing is balancing price as well as what type of style you're looking for. I like the Rhino Rack because it's a solid midpoint roof rack system where you get a lot of versatility, and I think it looks good on the RAV4. It's very easy to install, although you do have to keep a 10mm wrench handy in order to keep those towers tightened down. It's very similar to Yakima's flush rail roof rack, where you have the same design. The main difference though to Yakima is that the Yakima towers you can remove, and they have little caps that go onto the brackets that stay on your roof. For this one, you're gonna have to leave the whole system on or take the whole system off. I've seen a bunch of different RAV4s, and I know they all have different types of roofs, so double check yours to make sure this is gonna be a fit for you. We have a flush roof here, meaning we have a rail that goes up, but you cannot fit your hand underneath. If you can't fit your hand underneath, you're gonna have a raised rail. And if you have no rail whatsoever, that's what we call a naked roof. So again, the fit guide will help guide you through those 3 different options. This is gonna be the one for the flush rail. This gives us a good amount of overhang, 3 inches up front, 4 inches in the back. Overhang is measured from the end cap to right to the tower, and that is a spot where you can still clamp accessories down, or if you want to utilize the T-track, you can put your accessories anywhere on the crossbar. This is all secured with an end cap, and you also have weather strips on top. So the weather strips are great because it will help cushion your accessory that's loaded onto the rack. However, if you wanted to use the channel in between your crossbar, you are going to have to take these strips off. For height, when I took my measurement, I measured at the top part of the roof. So here we have 3¼ inches of clearance underneath the crossbar. In the back, we have about 3½ inches of clearance underneath the crossbar. That is a good amount of clearance for clamps that go around. You'll see some clamps that have wing nuts and U-bolts, and those require a lot of space. You'll also see super low profile clamps too. With this type of height, you're gonna get a lot of versatility. The next measurement is going to be how high does this roof rack sit on the roof. From top of the roof to top of the crossbar, I have it just at about 3½ inches here in the back. That's where your cargo sits. If you have skis with extra tall bindings, you want to have enough clearance so those bindings don't scratch up your roof. And again, that's where having that extra height comes in handy. Because they fit to very specific points on your roof rack, you don't get to choose where they go though. So for your crossbar spread, these are going to sit pretty far apart. That's measured from center to center. And here we have it at 34½ inches of distance. So if you are carrying a roof box, a ski and snowboard carrier, or a roof basket, those very commonly require a very specific crossbar spread, so just double check that to see if it'll work with the roof. The next thing is if you are carrying extra long items, that crossbar spread is great, but you then have to factor in if you're gonna have hatch clearance. Measuring from our rear crossbar to the opened up hatch, we have 26 inches of distance. So honestly, that's gonna be great for the rooftop tent we're putting on top of this car. But if you have a ladder or a kayak, that's another measurement to think about. The install process might look a little daunting at first because you have different boxes and different pieces and nuts and bolts, but the process is pretty straightforward, especially if you follow along with this video. I already installed the rear crossbar, and we're gonna install the front crossbar together. Most of what you need to install will be included with your kit, but you do need to bring a couple tools to the table. So what I brought is a 10mm ratchet wrench, especially an open socket one. That one's super helpful. And then I also have a pry tool. You can also use a flathead screwdriver. And then I have some scissors. So with these, you should be good to go. When you open up the boxes for your crossbars, you're gonna have your bars with these rubber strips and a tool stored inside. The rubber strips push into the top T-track of your bar. They're not gonna all fit perfectly, so you are gonna have to snip off a little piece and make sure everything is flush. Once you've done that for both crossbars, you then get your tower set up. Each tower will utilize this bolt that has a spot on top for an Allen key. You're then gonna put a split washer and then a flat washer. You're also gonna grab your metal plate. So this metal plate goes on top of your tower, flip the tower over, and then put your bolts and the washers in through from the bottom. You're going to loosely thread that metal plate to that bolt. Do not tighten that down. With both towers set up like that, you're then going to slide it through the bottom track of your crossbar. This is why that plate had to be loosely installed so it could still slide. You're going to want to slide your towers around to the perfect spot before tightening it down. There's two ways to do this. You could tighten it down while it's on the roof, and that's going to take a little bit of time to use the tool, or you could follow the measurement that I figured out. So for the front crossbar, what I did is I found that if I put our measuring strip to the end and I put it at 80 on both sides, then I tightened it down, that fit perfectly fine on our roof. And then for the rear crossbar, I went all the way up to 120 for that measurement. Try that for yourself, and if it doesn't line up, just loosen the tower and adjust until you have the same length on both sides. You're gonna have some excess strip, and you're gonna use that to fill in the gaps between your tower and the back of your crossbar. Be really mindful to do this up to spec, because this will prevent whistling of your crossbar once it's on your roof. For setting up your roof, you're then going to need your flathead screwdriver or your little pry panel tool. See this cutout on your flush rail? There's also a little spot there to use your screwdriver. We'll just gently lift the top panel out. Then you're going to grab your spacer brackets. On the bracket, it says front left, front right, rear left, rear right. Front left is going to be your front driver's side. This fits perfectly into the flush rail. You'll also be able to see how it evens out here on the top. To secure those blocks, you have a bolt, and then you have a larger Allen key included with your kit. The bolt just drops down, and if you have it lined up, it's going to line up in the nut in that front rail. You then use your Allen key to secure it. Do this for all four corners. What I like to do is I just like to get the Rhino-Rack logo facing out or towards the front. This is gonna fit onto your roof. There's little tabs on the towers that will fit into those blocks. To secure it, you're gonna have your hex head bolts, and these will also have a split washer and a flat washer. Put them together and then fit them through your tower. So it goes in from the top and just drops into that block below. You're gonna want to hand tighten them down first on both sides, and then you're gonna use your 10mm wrench, and that will further tighten it down. Once you've tightened down both towers to the point where that split washer flattens out, you then secure them with end caps. You get two end caps here. One is for the tower. It is gonna have this metal lock core. So turn the key and make sure it's locked. and just give it a good little shake test. The next end cap is going to be for your crossbars. And this does not have a metal lap core, but it has a pretty good security plastic core. You're just going to turn that with your security tool. These two keys are important. Go ahead and put them on a keychain and put them in your glove box or on your key ring. Everything is tightened down, but I like to give all the crossbars and towers a good shake test and make sure it's all secure. And that's it for your install. It is very straightforward, especially with everything labeled, pretty easy to do. And hopefully this video helped you out with that process. This right here was a look at the Rhino Rack Roof Rack with the 49-inch long Vortex Aero crossbars, the RCH legs, as well as the custom fit kit for your 2024 Toyota RAV4.